I greet my viewers with this liberal message from such outstanding politologists like Mermenak Nunjan. I want to discuss the bloody and terrorist rule of Russian Prime Minister Vladimir Putin, who actually endorses and creates, also organizes organized hits, killings, contract killings against Russian immigrants, against bank figures, because he is involved in illegal distribution of stolen Russian 300 tons of gold during Boris Yeltsin times. I believe that Russian Prime Minister Putin ordered and organized and assassination of recent assassination by recent assassination of former racketeer Ivankov. I believe that Ivankov, who was shot by a sniper in Moscow, according to the Moscow Times.com, was a Russian spy. He actually was member of severe Russian intelligence agency, and I believe also he was shot by the orders of Russian Prime Minister Putin, because who actually officially ordered Russian counter-terrorist unit or something like that to commit assassination of Mr. Ivankov, because he actually practices state terrorism. I believe that there is such a Russian FSB or militia group, or that special force they use like special forces group like SWAT team, something like SWAT team, equivalent of SWAT team, OMON, with groups which consist of mostly militant among militiamen and among Russian secret police like FSB, Federal Security Service, or Russian several militants. Those militants formerly were used, called by group Alpha. It's a terrorist group, definitely. Members of the terrorist group received bribes from one of Vladimir Putin's foreign accounts in Siabeco, Bank of New York, and Fimaco in America. And I believe those, especially Bank of New York accounts or accounts in Western Europe, are responsible for financing domestic terrorism in Russia. Assassination of Russian central bank director Kozlov and his driver, who were both shot dead during a football match, because it was ordered hit by one of those communists. I believe that Russian Prime Minister Vladimir Putin is a communist fanatic who actually kills people because he hates immigrants. Out of hatred towards immigrants, he ordered assassination of Americanized immigrant Ivankov, who was shot dead by a sniper. And I believe if Russian task forces of Ministry of Justice keeps investigating this case, they will be able to catch this murderer. Murderer has a distinct handwriting style of execution when he commits his crimes. He getting paid, I believe, he has his characteristic style of execution. His style of execution is sniper shot with a rifle, mostly, I believe. But we might use our means of assassination, but major one he's trying to use snipers. And I believe there's group Alpha or Vityaz group that Russian FSB that organized, a terrorist group, which commits assassination with orders of Russian Prime Minister Vladimir Putin, because they are obedient, mostly people, militants, and they actually charge, probably some of them didn't charge fees, like about a few $1,000, maybe from $50,000 to $60,000, maybe more, maybe less even, but they do charge money for murders up front, and I believe, or later on, I don't know which way the system works, but I believe that such kind of assassination end up sometimes very badly, because what people who commit assassination are communist fanatics. They kill people who try to bring more capitalism to Russia. And I believe that, but since of course with murders, assassination worsen social infrastructure in Russia, make Russian working class people and bureaucracy, military and law enforcement bureaucracy poorer, it's actually will cause one day a revolution, provoke a revolution that will overthrow Medvedev regime and will overthrow Russian Duma as well. Because being poor, we just don't want a united Russia to run the great, one of the largest countries on earth, by making them poor. Because with military bureaucracy and military core, Russian military core stays poor, and if we don't get them in their apartments, they will definitely riot. And I believe that and they will overthrow Medvedev regime, President Medvedev regime, because President Medvedev uses Prime Minister Putin, his ex-KGB former sponsor, to commit terrorist acts in Russia. And I believe that in abroad, and I believe that actually. One point is that most of the members of United Russia are former communist bosses, ages about from 60 to 80, and most of them received their fortunes by being forbidden services to CPSU. They were from first, second secretaries of CPSU, senior communist CPSU officials who robbed the Russian treasury in the early 90s. In the early 90s, Yegor Gaidar government of Boris Yeltsin and academic Primakov actually was stole hundreds of millions of dollars from Russian treasury and Western aid as well, and took them to Western banks, to Siabeka, Swiss bank Siabeka mostly maybe, and American Bank of New York and American Fimaco of Jersey Island, where the account 076 were discovered by ex-KGB agent Karmanov, who wrote a report in how that Kruchina, former CPSU secretary, distributed billions of dollars, about after selling 300 tons of gold in Switzerland illegally. But with Safon, according and with the help of with rebellious General Rutskoy, who was the truth, but he didn't tell the other side of the truth. That he was the one who authorized stealing that 300 tons of gold from Russian airplane. And he was one who will be taken to justice. I believe that we will investigate was receipts of CPSU, because we will catch and prosecute those from CPSU leaders we highly efficiently order. We left was receipts in which we are obliged to return that money back to the CPSU apparatus of the country upon first official demand. So in region, CPSU delivered them illegally millions of dollars. So each of them received millions of dollars, access to millions of dollars, while the countrymen lived in extreme poverty. This is outrageous, and those receipts are alive. Those receipts were retained and intact, and they were probably in KGB archives, Moscow KGB archives, most likely. And even at Russian Office of Attorney General seizes those, seizes those receipts, we do have irrefutable evidence which were money laundering and embezzlement from Russian treasury were being committed by CPSU members, senior CPSU members. After they committed the crime, they killed Kruchina, that from CPSU secretary who delivered that document, tried to kill Chubais, who distributed sometimes property with illegal privatization, and tried to also to kill a few KGB officers with delivering we knew about those accounts who were cashiers and delivered illegal millions and billions of dollars from Switzerland to the United States to Russia. Also was academic Pirogov served serious time in Switzerland for stealing $50 million of Western aid on the orders of late President Boris Yeltsin. And I believe that was receipts of CPSU leaders, which we mentioned in a movie, Zolta Party, on YouTube.com, which anyone can go and watch that movie, YouTube.com, where is the evidence. Those receipts do exist. And the evidence of it is that YouTube.com movie Taina Zolta Party, The Secret of Party's Gold. And that Secret of Party's Gold movie clearly depicts document signed by ex-KGB agent Karmanov, in which he, ex-KGB agent Karmanov, opened the account 076, which contained $10 million, according to a document. By which document he is, of course, makes him a money launderer and a thief. And I believe what was CPSU leaders from United Russia, was members of United Russia, one active member who stole that gold, including Smirnitsky and company. And Smirnitsky and company were once, and his so-called son, at the Russian crime family, probably former MGB, highly ranking official of Russian Minister of State Security at the Stalin times. That's like that.